Let's jump back into it. All right. Yeah, we just did this fight, and then we're going in here. A hunt is a clash between a hunter's cunning and the shrewdness of the prey. When the prey expects a trap, the hunter's acumen is put to the test in trying to subvert such expectations. Willidus has proven he understands this fundamental principle. The commander bursts through the front door and freezes. For all the tales about the mansion supposedly becoming a citadel, no one is there to assault unwanted guests. There are no flying arrows, no chilling battle cries, and the expensive furniture hasn't been turned into makeshift barricades. The commander and his companions carefully examine the luxurious antechamber. There are 2 doors leading deeper into the mansion. One bears a symbol of a mirror, and the other a symbol of a knife. There's a bloody pigeon feather in front of the doors and a note that contains 2 words, "Welcome, Assassin." The commander recalls that the bloody feather is the symbol of Shax, the Blood Marquis. This demon lord is infamous for luring his victims into labyrinths full of deadly traps. The door slams loudly behind him. Commander takes the mirror aside. Stepping through the doorway, the commander suddenly feels nauseous and an icy chill runs across his skin. His intuition screams that he has just passed through an interplanar portal, and he instantly loses all sense of direction and balance. It seems the rooms of his mansion occupy different layers of reality, and these portals unite them into an elaborate labyrinth, where a single wrong turn is enough to lose one's way entirely. Greed and arrogance are traits inherent to almost all demons, and the lord of the mansion seems eager to prove himself without equal in the indulgence of both of these vices. A door leads into a magnificent sitting room. It hasn't been furnished in a manner indicative of tasteful refinement. The lamp reflections sparkle on the gilded furniture. The floor is covered in elaborate mosaics. The shelves are full of expensive trinkets. As if all this luxury wasn't enough, the whole room is reflected back again in the giant mirror that covers the entire ceiling. As soon as the commander enters, the mirror's surface ripples, starting to bubble, bulge, and ooze like molasses. It sends its sticky tendrils towards the outsider, and a single touch from those appendages pierces the flesh with a sepulchral chill. Commander looks around, searching for cover. After a quick, thoughtful glance at his reflection, Drast hides under a spindle-legged coffee table. As soon as his reflection disappears from the glittering surface of the mirror, the disoriented tentacles start lunging blindly in different directions, unable to locate their prey. Hidden from the watchful eye of the monster, the commander sneaks towards the exit. There are 3 doors that lead out from the room occupied by the strange carnivorous mirror. The commander decides to open the one bearing the symbol of the crooked knife. They say that pets reflect the character and disposition of their owners. This is true, and the lord of the mansion has truly cruel and perverse disposition. The commander enters a spacious cellar filled with scattered bones and cages. All of them are wide open, and the creatures they once contained are freely roaming the room. They've all come from different planes. Some are monsters, some are mere animals. Some are intelligent species, yet all of them shamble about aimlessly. They pant loudly and drool drips from their slack jaws and open mouths. Their horribly mutilated and scarred heads provide evidence as to the reason for this behavior. A merciless surgeon has opened their skulls and taken out most of their brains, leaving only the bits that govern the most base instincts, such as hunger. And these creatures are very hungry indeed. Distract the monsters. Drast picks up a bone shard and deftly throws it towards the other side of the room. The hollow thunk attracts the attention of the creatures, and they shamble towards the noise. Their drilling jaws snap in anticipation. One of the mindless abominations bites one of the others, mistaking it for prey, and a noisy brawl breaks out between them. The fight is loud enough to allow the commander to slip past unseen. 3 doors lead from this dark cellar, and its oppressive stink of blood and decay. The commander decisively reaches out for the one marked with the symbol of a mirror. Beyond the door, the magnificent sitting room awaits the commander, the first trap to welcome unwanted guests into the palace. We'll try to break it. With a furious cry, Drast strikes the mirror with all his might, and the surface shatters with a deafening clang. The shards fall down in a glittering waterfall, smashing it into tiny fragments on impact. By right, the trophies from the battlefield belong to the victor. The commander invokes that right and fills his purse with a considerable amount of gold trinkets that any merchant would be gladly barter for more useful items. There are 3 doors that lead out from the room occupied by the strange carnivorous mirror. The commander decides to open the one bearing the symbol of. Wow, okay. Let's go back to this one. Tooth-filled maw. Everyone makes mistakes. The difference between an amateur and an expert is simply that the expert knows how to hide those mistakes in some deep, dark hole. But what if your mistake is a deep, dark hole? It seems like the commander has found the place where the lord of this mansion hides his mistakes. The walls of this room are splattered with blood up into the ceiling, and the floor is shaped like a funnel. There is a stand for steel poles with bloody hooks at their end. Gravediggers use such tools to drag dead plague victims onto their corpse carts. With a sudden click, the stone floor turns to ice, causing the commander to slip and slide down towards the giant gap in the center of the room, where it's now possible to discern it's a maw. The giant round mouth with hundreds of long, sharp teeth, a massive throat, and a staggeringly foul odor of hundreds and hundreds of decaying corpses. This maw is a gigantic corpse eater, which gorges itself on the results of failed and unsuccessful experiments. We'll fight the monster looking for its most vulnerable spot. Drast narrows his eyes and jumps straight towards the gaping maw of the beast. What at first seems to be a suicidal act turns out to be a flawlessly calculated attack. Drast delivers a deadly blow to the creature's inner organs, causing something inside to burst with a loud squelch. With a chilling shriek, the monster dies, and its frightful jaws stop moving forever. Something glimmers faintly within the fallen beast, catching the commander's eye. The crusader who is brave enough to delve inside a carnivorous monster is rewarded with a trinket that must have belonged to one of its victims. Apparently, the trinket was too durable to be chewed up and digested within the monster's putrid stomach. Let's go to the skills. No matter how gleefully the lord of this place mutilates the flesh, he is first and foremost a scientist. And a scientist, by definition, is a madman who can put to shame any giggling maniac with a knife. Therefore, it comes as no surprise that his laboratory is furnished with care and order. There's no hint of the tawdry luxury found in other rooms. There is a multitude of flasks and vials, with potions resting on the tables, and the cupboards are filled with jars containing brains of all shapes and colors. As soon as the door closes behind the commander's back, a huge silvery autoclave opens with a wheezing clang, emitting a wave of foul-smelling brine. A hideous homunculus covered in glistening slime crawls out of the autoclave. Its liquid, malleable body constantly grows new limbs, eyes, and mouths, absorbing the bits and pieces it no longer requires. It seems the monster can't decide what shape it should take. It stares at the commander with malevolent intelligence. It seems it has better mental faculties than most alchemically produced creatures. The homunculus giggles repulsively as it grabs a vial full of acid and aims it at the commander's head. The commander attacks the nimble monster, hoping to corner it and finish it off. The homunculus proves surprisingly agile, as it scampers around the laboratory, growing more and more limbs. It's impossible to get a hold of the creature's moist, slimy skin. At long last, employing all of his cunning, Drast traps the nimble homunculus in the corner, catches it, and wrings its fragile neck. With a gurgling sound, the monster attempts to change its shape one last time, and then it goes limp forever. The commander uses this chance to search the laboratory and manage to procure an entire satchel of useful potions and bombs. Stepping over the wreckage of expensive lab equipment and shattered glass, the commander pauses before 3 doors and eventually chooses the one with the symbol of. So we got 3 heal potions. Potions of heal, heroism, and disrupting weapon. The full moon. Commander enters a magnificent bedroom and ends up knee-deep in a seemingly bottomless pile of soft blankets, fuzzy rugs, plump feather beds, and other covers of all sorts and shapes. They allure and promise the sweetest dreams. Only Drast would lie down and close his eyes. It's a dangerous temptation. Anyone who allows these fluffy killers to put them to sleep won't ever wake up again. They will crawl over their victim, piling up around them, and then suffocate and smother them to death. Carving through a feather bed with his blade, the commander sees glistening flesh, and a thick ichor oozes from the rend in the fabric. Yet no book has ever mentioned such strange, bizarre creatures. The commander can only guess that this is a result of a strange experiment on some predatory swarm organism that disguises itself as something harmless and then preys on those it lures close. We'll find and destroy the leader of this strange swarm. The rugs bleed when carved up with a blade. They are a swarm or a pack and therefore may have a leader. Drast surges forward, allowing the hungry mass to smother and bury him under its weight, while he doggedly presses ahead. At last, he finds a large purple cluster of flesh that resembles a giant brain. When touched, it wobbles and quivers like jelly. Drast splits it open with a single decisive blow, and the wounded creature emits a barely audible, high-pitched squeal. The rugs swarm bulges and convulses in pain, dying in terrible agony. It would seem these creatures had an invisible link, and destroying the brain doomed the whole brood. The commander decided to search the place. Who knows what secret compartments have been hidden beneath the repulsive mass of fabric and flesh. The search reveals a disguised niche, and inside it is a stack of papers. These are the journals of a mad surgeon who researched the brains of living creatures. The experiments described on these pages are as repulsive as they are enlightening for anyone who isn't too squeamish to finish the reading. 3 doors with different symbols. Okay, so we choose the vivisector's notes. Okay. Commander walks into an enormous kitchen. There are massive cauldrons with shiny, polished sides, and a tiny green flame flickers in a magical oven. The aroma of delicious spices beckons from the countless cupboards and shelves that line the walls. However, as soon as the commander enters the room, the cauldron's lids fly up in the air, blown off in a powerful explosion. A nasty grayish-pink slime oozes out of the open cauldron, swelling up like dough. The slime flows down onto the floor, gathering up into massive clotted clusters, which then begin to crawl towards the commander. Drast has never seen or read about such creatures before. It is reasonable to suggest that this was the outcome of complicated and perverted magical experiment. This carnivorous slime was captured in a cave, subjected to magical transformation, and fed entirely with brain tissue. We'll search the kitchen for a poisonous concoction to use against the carnivorous slime. It's not easy to operate the oven. Drast mistakenly activates a magical sigil that transforms the oven into a fiery altar ready to consume the entire plane. The oven's walls manage to contain the roaring heat inside for a moment, but then they burst open, releasing a fiery tornado that leaves nothing but ash and ruin in its wake. The slime boils and vaporizes in a matter of seconds. When the inferno dies down at last, the entire kitchen is filled with the twisted remnants of the corrugated metal scattered across the molten stone of the still smoking floor. Avoiding the slime's attacks, Drast rummages in the drawers until he finds what he's looking for. A few copper flasks filled with caustic salt. He jumps on the table and generously spills the salt around himself. The moment a single grain of the salt lands on the slimy monster, the creature begins to bubble, darken, and shrivel. In a matter of moments, all that remains of the creature is a glistening, oily film on the floor. After meticulously examining the food on the undisturbed shelves, the commander decides to rest. He takes the opportunity to recuperate and bandage his wounds. It is thinking ahead, rather than rushing forward recklessly, that separates able tacticians from those who rashly press on and perish. Okay. Let's go to the full moon. Yep. Blazing fire. Commander finds himself in a long stone passage. No traps are triggered by his careful steps. Yet at the end of the passage, his vision grows blurry. The illusion of safety falls apart like a house of cards, revealing an endless, fiery field. Ashen mountains, rivers of lava, magmatic volcanoes. Hot wind scorches his face. It's not difficult to conclude that this deadly place is the elemental plane of fire. Ash and volcanic rock tremble beneath the commander's feet, but walking on it seems safe enough for now. The only escape route is the distant three-way arch of rough-hewn stone containing 3 familiar doors. However, in order to reach it, the commander must find a way past the river of fire, in which tiny islets of porous stone are just barely visible. The river spews out tongues of roaring flame that land on the banks and crystallize into dark glass. As a result, both banks of the river have become steep, jagged cliffs of obsidian. Okay. We'll walk along the bank looking for a ford, guided by his knowledge of interplanar travel. Drast remembers a few tales of travelers who had survived the plane of fire and decides to venture forth along the fiery river's banks. The trek is long and dangerous, but after a couple of hours, he finally finds what he's been looking for. A strip of hardened black glass arching across the stream of lava like a volcanic bridge. Drast carefully makes his way to the other side using the makeshift bridge and climbs up to the stone arches. After reaching the stone portals, the commander has to decide which of the 3 doorways to enter. Eventually, he settles on the one with the symbol of the rod. The door doesn't budge. Commander forces it open with his weight and enters the same hall where this dangerous expedition first began. The cozy, comfortable setting in no way hints at the nightmares that awaited the commander inside the mansion. The door outside is wide open, and through the doorway, dark figures can be seen clutching weapons. All of this was nothing but a warm-up. The final, decisive battle is still to come. The commander prepares for a fight as he steps outside the accursed mansion. Let us. The leader of this gang of demons is grotesquely disfigured, even by the standards of the Abyss. A disproportionately large and bloated head rests on a tiny disformed body covered in bumps and furrows like a shriveled walnut. What seems at first to be a mane of hair standing up on end is revealed upon closer inspection to be bone needles sticking out from his pale, blistered skin. Where the mouth should be, there is instead a bony plate formed from yellowing teeth that have grown together. It protrudes out from his torn, lacerated lips. His voice appears to have come from a slobbering, undulating hole in his neck just beneath his chin. More bloody larvae showing up to my place. I'm getting very tired of these visits. What a freak. Even I feel somewhat conflicted. Killing this creature would be an act of cruelty or mercy. I do not wish to show mercy to the scum that set me up. Who are you? You don't even know who you've decided to challenge. Let these words herald your imminent death, outsider. I'm Willidus, the wizard confidant and advisor to the Lady in Shadow. I'm also known as the Vivisector. So many words. I'll simply call you a corpse. Less impressive sounding, perhaps, but easy to remember. Why did you turn your house into a trap? I was expecting assassins, and therefore I prepared a warm welcome for such guests. I trust that you appreciated my vivarium. When I'm finished with you, you'll become a new decoration for my place, my palace, and another test for those who follow you. You will be mine. Some of you will be mindless pets, and the more attractive ones, I may use you to meet other needs. The monstrosity giggles lecherously, and the sound is shrill and repulsive, like metal against glass. Hey, Artificial. I've been playing New World, just not on stream. Plus, I have to finish this game. actually leveled 2 characters in New World because I decided the server I started on, the queues are a little out of hand. My current character hit level 20 last night. What about you? What level have you gotten to? Did you create the monsters I found in the mansion? You call them monsters, silly boy. What can you possibly know about it? Those are masterpieces of vivisection, impossible creations conceived not by nature, born of my scalpel, needle, and magic. So who do you think wants you dead? My enemies are many and dangerous, and I could spend an eternity guessing. But there's no need for that. Once I've killed you, I'll soak your warm little brains in my concoctions and read the names of my enemies like tea leaves in their wrinkled patterns. And then I'll have a lovely dinner. There's a greedy, predatory gleam in those tiny eyes, buried deep within the folds of wrinkled flesh. Yeah, the queues are really out of hand. I'm hoping by this weekend, hopefully by later today, they have increased the server capacity because they basically they need to double the server capacity. And they need to figure out something to do with the AFK runners, because that just exacerbates the problem. Why did you put a hit out on Darazan and give Greybor a faulty magical weapon? I mean, the servers that they have up and running, amazingly stable. I mean, once you get in the game, it's smooth as butter. Very few problems from what I've seen. But getting into the game, meaning the capacity, is lacking. If I had a conversation with someone last night in my new guild. Apparently, they're planning to scale up the servers, and likely will happen this weekend. Because during the stress test of the game, they had a server capacity of 8,000. And they were like testing how much their servers can actually handle. While at that size, the game was less stable, but at least people could play, you know? But I think the server capacity is just way too low right now. Like I said, they need to double it, at least. They would still be under the max they had it at during the stress test. So here's hoping they have it worked out by today, tomorrow. I have this website that I've been using, given to me by Afflicted Ego, that shows you the queue and average wait time for each server. And let's see if I can find my old server. the servers themselves only hold like 2,000 players, so they need to at least double that. Let's see. Currently a 3-hour queue time. Not even 10 o'clock in the morning. There's already a 3-hour queue time on my old server. Let's see what my current server is like. No wait. I'll take that as a win. Yeah, I'm not planning on waiting for them to double the capacity either. That's why I moved servers. Like my original server, the guild I was part of, like they chose like a heavily populated server, obviously, but it's the same server like Burke Black, Jesse Fairlight, Gassy Mexican, Josh OG apparently, like huge streamer communities, and we're shocked by large queue times. Really? Nonsense. Why would I want an idiot dead? What possessed him to think I'm the one who put out a hit on him, out on him? And how dare you pathetic amateurs even think of that a scheme of mine might possibly fail? If I truly wanted to kill Darazand, he'd be long gone. But no, I don't give a damn about anyone from that swarm of locusts. I expected such an answer. For some reason, whenever I corner these scoundrels and demand a reckoning, none of them are brave enough to own up to their crimes, and then never go quietly when I slit their throat. What do you think, Grey Boar? Usually I'm quite capable of detecting lies, but this ugly wretch is impossible to read. Why does it matter anyway? Even if he's not lying, we'll do well to get rid of him. He just tried to kill us in his mansion. Besides, will you ever sleep well knowing this monstrosity is alive somewhere? Your words reek of deceit. Soon, we shall find out what your tiny, ridiculous, worm-eaten brain smells like. Kill him. I won't lie. I've been waiting for this moment. Tomorrow morning, my reputation will be spotless once again. Sweet dreams. Sweet dreams to you.
I got this.
Why can't you move? Or why can't you attack? I don't get it. And here comes the howitzer.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
Oh, will it is.
Oxy, yes.
Bam!
Go.
Firebolt. Or Scorching Ray. What does this staff do?
You won't survive me.
Horzala. Projection of is that of a tall female demon. Unlike many of her kind, she seems slimmer, less stocky in build. Upon closer examination, you realize that her thinness is caused by extreme emaciation, which makes her look like a withered tree. The skin on her neck and wrist bears the marks of shackles, and her body is covered with flaming seals of Baphomet. Lowering her eyes, the demon addresses you quietly. Allow me to congratulate you. The short work you've made of Willidus proves you are a true professional. I am Horzala. And on behalf of the Assassin's Guild, I congratulate Greybor on completing this contract. You have fulfilled the order we received for Willidus's murder, and therefore you have the right to collect the bounty, even though you are not a guild member yourself. I'm sure you also have many questions about what happened. I doubt your guild is hard to find. There's a notice board at its entrance, where the assassination contracts are posted. Who are you? I am Horzala, Baphomet's daughter. Horzala, not Hepzibah. She's my elder sister, but I doubt you're able to appreciate the true extent of my misfortune. I'm also known in Alushanira as the assistant and right hand of Yaz, the head of the Assassin's Guild. You know what happened here? I may know a thing or two, but we should discuss these matters inside the guild, not in public. Who's going to overhear us, the corpses? Why don't you come here and speak to us face to face instead of projecting an illusion? Or are you afraid we won't like your answers and will make you join Willidus? We'll pay a visit to him. The bounty awaits. I'm not sure what reward awaits us, but I truly hope it's a considerable sum of gold and not a meager payment served up at the end of a blade. Really?
Endure this. Simply business.
Like, why can't you attack? This is absurd.
Damn you! Make every strike count.
Single use key to the Echo's lair. Ooh. Quick save there. Go up, see what's up there. Oh yeah, we came up here because we spotted that. I wonder. Does the key go in there? Nope. Okay. Key on the magical pedestal is utterly unremarkable. If you insert the right key, the passage onward will likely appear.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so we don't have that key yet, apparently.
Can't hide from me. Let's see what we can do.
Where is this leading me? Gotta look around.
Is that a trap?
No, that's loot. Okay. Is this not Takula's palace? I want to go in. You have not been invited. Make yourself scarce or I'll do it for you. What is this place? This palace is not Takula's residence, mortal. Uninvited guests are not welcome. Alright. Hard to save it.
The light, take you into the fray.
It's your time to cease to exist.
Probably should have saved, or healed.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
The inheritor, guide my blade.
Oh shit.
You're in my way.
Oh wow. Yeah, we may have bitten off more than we can chew, but we'll see.
You won't survive me. I'm getting my ass kicked.
Damn.
Leave a bruise.
If you enjoy CRPGs and like if you played Kingmaker and you enjoyed it, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think we definitely should not have taken this fight. We'll gain an audience through normal means. Yeah, I'm not sure how we get across there now. I think our portals are not working right. So let's reload it, see if it fixes it. Mm-mm. We already went there. We got the succubus, or the succubi, to work for us. This requires a key I don't think I have. Yeah. Yep. This is the abyss where the succubi originate from.
Beautiful.
There's a lot of depravity that takes place here in this realm.
Let's see what we can do.
All right, let's go have some conversations with our companions. Life's a funny thing, isn't it? You find yourself in a new city and suddenly you bump into an old acquaintance. Sabamelika is here in Alushanira. You felt it too, Lan? Bloodthirst. Soft whispers calling you to give in to violence. Finally paying attention, are you? No. I don't hear any whispers and feel no bloodthirst. Windu, see a healer. I think you're just insane. Sabahu. Very funny. I know we're surrounded by demons. They all got tricky names. We can't be and you can't be expected to remember all of them. Sabamelika is the one who's been kidnapping mongrels for ages in the caves and turning them into insane beasts. We've met him. Scrawny looking guy with a long tail. How do you know he's an Alusionera? They feel it. You know, it's like a scent. You smell something unusual once in your life and you remember it forever. That feeling I had in the cave when Saba Malika was turning the mongrels into beasts. It's back. Like some cloying, nasty stench that's clogging up my lungs. Like I fell into a latrine and can't swim. Excuse the analogy. Assuming they're here, where should we look for them? Now that I don't know. But this thing, it seems to grow weaker and stronger as we move around. So if you put me on the scent, I'll lead you to him like a hound. Okay, we'll find him. The right thing to do would be just to raise this whole city to the ground. But one demon's lair will do to start with. Take a look. A scented letter. The one who sent me this letter. I hoped I would never hear from him again. But it was inevitable. He found out I was in the city. Of course he did. And now does not help me. The thought of seeing him again terrifies me. This is simply part of my journey, isn't it? I can't just run away from the sins of my past. I have to at least try and make amends. And if I can't, then I must ask for forgiveness. Who is D? Demalchio? Remember the shadow from my nightmares? That's him. I used to consider him my crowning achievement, but now I'm ashamed to remember him at all. He was an Azeta once, a true hero, a knight and a poet, a defender of the weak, the pride of Elysium, and I corrupted him. I made him fall in love with me. I broke his heart. I made him commit foul crimes I cannot even describe. And when he became indistinguishable from a demon, I left him in the abyss. Now he wants to see me again. I'm frightened and ashamed. Venomous butterfly? I've heard those words before in your dream. That is what my nightmare calls me, my most horrific disgrace. There was a time when that name suited me perfectly. I've poisoned so many souls. I've ruined so many beautiful characters, both mortal and not. Almost all of them are dead now, but this nightmare of mine is still alive, and that means there's still maybe hope of saving him. Are you going to accept it? I don't want to. You have no idea how afraid I am. What will I say? How will I look him in the eye after everything I've done to him? But I feel I must do this. I must see him. I must tell him that a fall like his is not a death sentence, that there is a way back. And if he won't listen to me, I'll simply ask for his forgiveness. What do you want from me? Please, let's go there together. I must see him again, face to face. I must try to save him from the abyss. I doubt it's possible. I know how much I've corrupted him, but I must try, nevertheless. I must. And yet, I can't do it on my own. She sobs and buries her face in her hands. Okay. Whoops, we're muted. Sorry about that. All right. Yeah, that's a leveler. She's level 2. So. Give her a short bow. For some mobility, I guess. Yeah, I'll do that. Okay. Rapid shot mastery. Yes. Mm. Hmm.
I am yours to command.
Okay. See if we can up her wisdom. I don't think we have anything that ups it, though. Whatever. Yeah, my audio is on. Maybe try reloading the stream.